Congratulations! You have somehow navigated to the internet to this site called YouTube, where you have clicked on this video. Now, since you probably didn't get here by yourself, your friend or somebody else is somehow showing you this video, I will be going over how to use your Windows 10 computer. So, you have just turned on your computer, and I assume you have already installed Windows. So, here we are on the lock screen. Now, in the past, you may have had to unlock the computer when it's on this screen by pressing Control, Alt, and Delete. However, that is not the case and will never be the case for you again in your life. All you simply have to do to unlock the screen is press any key on the keyboard or swipe up like so, or press any key on the keyboard. Now, once you are on the lock screen, what you're going to have to do is select your account, which would usually be over here. However, there's currently only one account on this computer, and then type in your password. Once you do that, you will get your your password will not be incorrect. I just typed it in incorrectly. And then you'll be dumped on your desktop. Now, if this is your first time loading up your computer, although it is already installed, this will probably take a little while. However, my computer has been running for a little while itself, so the desktop has already been loaded in the background. As Windows 10 has gotten a feature where it'll automatically start logging on the user who has been last logged in to this computer automatically when it is turned on, and even if they have not put their password in yet. So, you're probably wondering, why do I need to know how to use Windows 10? Well, in this day and age, most businesses, if not all businesses, use a computer of some sort. And most businesses that use computers use Windows computers, as the enterprise typically uses Windows. However, some businesses will use Macs for other things like artists, but that is a rarer case, so in this case, I'm going to be showing you how to use Windows 10. Another note is that pretty much no matter what field you go into, even if you go into the military, they also use Windows, although they typically use Windows XP in the military and not Windows 10. Now that you've been dumped on your desktop for the first time ever, your taskbar will look slightly different than my taskbar does down here. However, that shouldn't be a problem. On your taskbar around here somewhere, there should be this symbol for Microsoft, Edge. From Microsoft Edge, which is this application right here. This is the default web browser stored in Windows. Now, what you're going to want to do is install another browser, aka Google Chrome, because Edge is terrible. Just terrible. And because Bing is the default search engine on Edge or on your computer, I'd recommend it's even going to prompt you to go to Chrome. But since I have already, and we are going to be installing Chrome here, but since I have already installed Google Chrome on this computer, I'm going to be installing the 64-bit version of Google Chrome instead. Whoa. What is this 64-bit you talk about? Well, 64-bit simply refers to the instruction set of your CPU. Most CPUs either use a 64 or 32-bit instruction set. The main impact on you this concerns is the amount of RAM your system can hold. RAM is short for random access memory. RAM is the memory in your computer, or for simple, the space your computer uses to store stuff. On a 32-bit system, it can use 4 GB of RAM. To calculate this, we first need to know what a bit is. A bit is the simplest form of storage, a 1 or a 0. An on or an off. Get it? To calculate the amount of RAM a system can hold, we first need to see the largest number you can store with X binary bits. We can calculate the following with this equation. 2 to the X. Now, if we plug in 32, we get 4,294,967 64,296. If we divide this by 1024, the amount of one step in bytes, we get 4,194,304 kilobytes. If again, we get 4,096 megabytes. At least one more time, and we get 4 gigabytes. Now, if we repeat this for 64, we get this number. And then if we divide a few more times, we get this number, which if we divide again like 3 more times, we get this number, 16 exabytes. Or if you're not that technically inclined, it's a lot. Anyhow, that is the difference between 32 and 64-bit, which can impact anything from your CPU to your operating system to the program you're installing. Now, back to installing Google Chrome. Alright, now that we understand what the difference between 32 and 64-bit is, let's install the 64-bit version of Google Chrome, aka Chrome Beta. So, now, Google Chrome Beta does have new features of Chrome. It is slightly glitchy, but it is 64-bit. As you can see, this is asking for a 32-bit. Now you're going to want to click Download Chrome Beta, accept and install. It'll load, and what do you want? And it will ask you, Edge will ask you what you want to do with this program. You should know that you're downloading this specifically from Google, because if you are not downloading it, and you might want to take a close look at this URL, because if it doesn't say Google.com here, and it says something else on this end, and everything kind of past that isn't gray, you are not downloading the real Google Chrome Beta. You are most likely going to be downloading a virus. So you should make sure that you are on the real Google Chrome Beta site before you click run on any program that you have downloaded from that, or any other site for that matter, from any program that may be nefarious. So, you're going to want to click Run. Oh, that was a security scan. Whoops. What you're going to want to do is you're then going to want to close Microsoft Edge, because it's a bad thing. Open up File Explorer and navigate to your Downloads folder, which should be right here. However, it is not downloaded to here and it has already got the installer. Now, you will see this screen appear whenever you try to install any program ever. So, what this is the user account control. It's the Windows way of making sure that you know what malware you're installing before it happens. Or let me put that in a simpler term. It has you give apps permission to change things in Windows specific directories so that a virus doesn't come along and just screw up everything without you knowing. It'll prompt you and make sure you read what app it says that it is, and if it's a verified publisher, which this happens to be. And if you are not an administrator on your computer, it will prompt an administrator to put in their password or PIN or something of the similar. But because I am an administrator on this computer, I will just click yes. On your mark, connect to the internet, downloading. Now, this will take a certain amount of time, and I will fast forward through the whole installation process, or at least parts like this, so that you can see what's going on. However, I will not be talking. Alright, so now the program is installing. Although you may notice that this has gone straight to installing, as Google Chrome installation is not a normal program installation. In fact, most programs will go through their own setup wizard, but Google Chrome has its own special installation needs. So now you can see we have Google Chrome Beta here, and it will automatically open itself up. load up just fine with the welcome screen. Now, I'm gonna click no thanks here because and this will default your search engine to Google. Now, I will say anything you do through Windows search will usually bring up a search result in Bing. Bing is a bad browser, but that is how you install Google Chrome Beta. Now I will show you how you install pretty much all other programs. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go install Java on this computer. Now, there are several reasons why you're going to want to install Java. Well, and the main reason is because a lot of programs use Java for your thing. And another thing is because I have downloaded and installed the 64-bit version of Google Chrome, Java will recognize that and download to me the 64-bit version of Java for Windows, as you can see, as it says right here. Now, Java is by Oracle, and they are a well-known company, so they should be safe. You just gotta make sure you are on the right site. And I will speed through the download process. But, by the way, in Chrome, this is what file downloads look like. They have an image, what the file is going to be called, a progress circle, and this arrow, which gives you options. You can open when done, you can pause it, you can show in folder, or you can cancel the download. I'm going to click show in folder so that you can see that it'll go to your downloads folder. Now, when it is not finished download, it'll be called unconfirmed with a whole bunch of numbers .cr download. So now let's wait until this is done downloading. Alright, so now that it is finished, we have the Java installer here, which is a .exe file. Now, most installers will be a .msi file installer, so you know what it is, but this is also in certain cases a special installer, as while it will ask you for administrator permissions like all programs, it has a different install user interface than most programs. Now, it probably will still give a few different little bits of information here and there, but the important thing is it'll say welcome to Java first. You click install, and there's a whole lot of other information that you should probably read, blah blah blah. Then it'll install. This is a cool install stream, but most things will go through the default setup wizard. There'll be a box on your screen, and it'll say, and there will usually be a whole bunch of steps to installing something, including like a EULA, and like some excess product information. Make sure you kind of gingerly read through that stuff so you know what you're installing on your computer. But besides that, that is installing a program on your computer. Alright, and so now I will be showing you a whole bunch of common and some uncommon keyboard shortcuts. Now, I will start with ones that are simple that you should already know, and I'll get to more advanced and exotic ones that you might not know. So, we'll start with copying something. So, if you can highlight things by several ways, but the most common one is to click and drag with your cursor across something. Then, simply on your keyboard, press the Control key plus C to copy something to your clipboard. Next, what I'm going to show you is the paste keyboard shortcut. Now, right-clicking and clicking paste is a viable option, but the quicker way to do it is press Control plus V. The next thing I'm going to show you how to do is cut something. So say you want to move something from one part of your document to another, but completely removing it from one place and placing it down in another. For that, you will first press Control plus X, and then once you found the new place in your document you want to paste it, Control plus V. Now this doesn't apply just to any Word documents. This applies to a variety of different types of programs, and very useful and versatile tool. The next keyboard shortcut is is undo. So if you accidentally deleted a couple characters like I just did there, you can press Control Z to undo it. Now, if you happen to press Control Z a few too many times, you can press Control Y to redo. Like that. Next, if you have a really long document and you're having trouble finding one segment, you can press, in most programs, you can press Control plus F to open up a window where you can find things, and it'll show you where the nearest thing is in that document. Next, if you'd like to highlight everything in the selected text body that you have, press Control plus A and it'll highlight everything, where you can then press backspace to just delete it all. Our next shortcut is a very easy one that not many people would know, and it's very useful and handy. It's when you press Control, Shift, and Escape. Will automatically open up Task Manager. Now, when you first open up Task Manager, it'll probably look like this. What you're probably going to want to do to get use out of it is click the More Details options, which will open up this advanced window which allows you to see background processes, Windows processes, how much of your computer's resources are being used up by each individual process or in total. It also allows you to see your overall performance in graph form from your computer's specs. Allow you to see things like app history, what apps open up on startup, like the Java update schedule, Microsoft's OneDrive, Windows Defender, which is an antivirus by the way. It'll show what users are currently logged in and how many processes and what processes are running under that account and how much resource each account is. And if you're an administrator and there are other accounts logged on, you can sign them out from this menu. And then there's a couple other tabs where you can do a few other things in Task Manager. Task Manager is a very versatile tool which is very useful for ending crashed or bad applications like this. Our next one is another simple one that not too many people know, but is very simple and useful. If you press the Windows key and E, it'll open up File Explorer to the Quick Access page immediately. If you press Windows key plus R, it'll open up the Run box, where you can type a specific program like Notepad or the CMD for the command prompt, or something say like %appdata%, which will open up the folder where most games will store all their save information is in this location. The command prompt also has some useful things, say ipconfig, which will give you information about your IP address, and other things like dir/s, which will show every directory in your computer. The same thing is true for the tree if you type tree into the command prompt, although this command here will take a while to run because even on a default system there's a ton of files. So we're just going to close that. Notepad, as I was showing earlier, you can just type stuff out and save it as a simple text document format. Don't say that. Our next one is a lesser known one, but is super useful. If you quickly want to put your computer on the lock screen, press the Windows key plus L, and it'll immediately sign you out, no matter which computer you are using, whether it is the one that I was showing you or the other one which is recording this, it looks like. And then once you're on the lock screen, you can just retype in your password and you can go right back to where you left off on the desktop. If you press the Windows keys plus Q or S, it'll open up Windows Search / Cortana. Although in the future, Microsoft has said that they are going to separate Cortana from Search. So if you're specifically trying to ask Cortana a question like, how are you? It won't try to search Bing. And if you're trying to search your computer for, say, I don't know, like a games folder, it will not bring you to a Bing search either, or say mom pics or something like that. It won't show you things from, it'll try to help you better by separating Cortana and Windows search. The next one is a very useful one that is very unknown about, is when you press the Windows key plus I, will open up settings for some reason. They decide to use I because S was already taken, or U will open up settings specifically to the ease of access page. The next one is it's a goodie, Windows key plus F, which will open up the feedback hub. Now, this is a built-in Windows feature where you can try to send feedback to Microsoft about issues you may be having with your computer personally by typing out your own message. It's not loading right now though, but that's fine. And the next thing and another one that I have to show you is Windows key plus either the greater than or less than symbols, which will open up an emoji list right here on your screen. So either one will do that, whether it be the left one or the right one. Although usually if you have multiple monitors hooked up to your computer, they may open up on a, oh no. If you press the Windows key plus both of the greater than and less than keys, it'll open up a, you saw it there for a minute, a window like this, which has a whole bunch of emojis and other things on it. And it might be just one of those two, but those are the ones that I've had the most success with. And now, for the final keyboard shortcut of the day, if you have a program or something that has been opened or whatever, and it's just crashing and slow, or you just want to close it quickly, if you press the Alt key plus F4, it will instantly close the program. It's almost like Command Q on a Mac, except in Windows, when you open up a program, you actually only have to hit the X in the top right corner to completely close it out. And now it's time for some tips and tricks. When you are in File Manager, under the View tab, make sure you have ticked File Name Extensions and Hidden Items so that you can always see what type of file things are, and if there are any hidden files, you can see those as well. Another tip is if you have a file on the desktop or really anywhere here, and you accidentally go and delete the file, there's a few things. It is not gone forever. There's a few things you can do to get it back. The first thing you do is do not panic or go do anything else on your computer. What you're going to want to do is you can right click and undo delete, or Control Z, or another thing that you can do is if the file is small enough, you can go into the recycling bin and pull it right out of the recycling bin, and then it's safe. Here's another trick that you can do for just about any program on your computer. If you create a new shortcut, which is somewhere here, go under Send to Create Shortcut, you can change if you right click and click on Properties, you can change the icon of the file to just about any default Windows icon, or you can make your own custom one and add that to the file instead. If the taskbar located right here at the bottom of your screen is in the way, you can click and drag it around your screen. Don't make me look like a liar. If the taskbar wasn't locked, you could click and drag it around your screen to relocate it at any point of these 4 sections if it just so happens to be in your way. Also note that if you have multiple screens connected, it may not be set to the same thing on every single screen. Alright, that is going to be it for this tutorial video on how to use Windows 10. I hope you found it both informative and entertaining, and I just want to say that this was a little bit of fun and a little bit of pain to make, and hit the buttons and stuff down below, and thank you again so very much for watching.